What is Generation Z?
Generation Z is very diverse and different from other generations.
Gen Z is the kids of today. We're passionate about social justice and we leverage our identities to create a world that's better for everyone.
Generation Z was born 1997 or after. Its members are in their teens and early 20s, and they're the most racially and ethnically diverse American generation yet.
They're also on track to be the most educated generation. And to give you a sense of their place in time, most of the people in Gen Z have never known life without a smartphone.
Gen Z is really the identification for people who grow up purely in this new era of communication and technology.
Gen Z is the activist generation. We stand up for what we believe in, whether that is that Baby Yoda is the cutest thing of all time or that climate change is bad.
We have the internet, we have each other, and we have the bonds that we've been able to create to truly form coalitions and actually make change.
In a brand new podcast from the San Diego Union Tribune, we'll get to know this new generation that's literally changing the face of America. And you'll hear directly from them about what they are and aren't.
People should know that Gen Z is not just about being bound to our phones, it's also being bound to an increasingly populated network of knowledge.
So I think that Gen Z is really hyper-focused on the bigger issues in society as opposed to just what's happening in my community. And for that reason, I think that we're more likely to see change on a global level or even just a larger level, like a national level, than we were likely to in previous generations.
Join us as we introduce you to this generation just as it's entering the workforce and coming into power, just as some of its members are voting for the first time, just as the coronavirus pandemic has upended everyone's life and reshapes Gen Z and its future.
So say hello to Gen Z, coming soon to your favorite podcast app.
Welcome to 60 Minutes in Black America. I am Oryne Stewart, standing in for Mr. Michael Haney as this week's host. I have actually two, one wasn't able to make, but two amazing young people, Generation Z, that are going to join me tonight for a great conversation, as you just heard some in the clip, to talk about what life looks like to them and what it is that they plan on doing with our future. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Once again, I'm Oryne Stewart, standing in for Mr. Michael Haney here at 60 Minutes in Black America for a great episode tonight. What we're going to talk about is who's up next, Generation Z, what their plans are to make a difference in this world. So without further ado, I'm ready to bring them on. I'm so excited to have them on. So please join me, Jasmine and Jeremiah. How are you both doing?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank Mike for letting us be able to have an opportunity to highlight you both, as well as Remy. I know the audience heard me say that we had three, right? But Remy is on a flight. She wasn't able to make it tonight, so safe travels to her. But to you both, congratulations on what you all just accomplished yesterday.
Thank you.
Talk about it. Yes, talk about it. You all are now college graduates from Warner University. Congrats to you both.
How
do you feel?
Well, it's humbling because we've had I lost my voice because I'm at Disney, guys, so just so y'all know. But what's so amazing about it is we've been in college for 5 years because we dealt with our former school closing down and we had to completely change course to a different school, which happened to be Warner. And it's just humbling that we've made it this far and we've been through a lot of different things through these 5 years of college, and now we've made it, and we just gotta give praise to God that we were able to walk across that stage, see our family support us and friends, and it was just amazing.
Yes, Jeremiah.
Yes, and just for myself, just from these 5 years, it's a big thing about growth. I just know after getting that diploma, that feeling of nervousness, but the weight lifting off of my shoulder that is finally done. Not in a way that, I'm just, God gives over, but I earned this, in a certain way through God, through my family, also my fiance. Like, it goes far long, and from the growth from coming in as a freshman all the way to graduating, you see yourself in a different lens, and especially how the world works and knowing what you can give to the world.
Yes, yes, so true. And like I mentioned in the video, I wanted us to get a chance to, and for the audience to look at who Generation Z is. So tonight, I'm a representative of Generation X, right? Like I like to say, we are
Right.
you all parents. The baby boomers were my parents, which is you all's grandparents. But your generation is the first generation to actually be born with technology at your fingertips, right? We had it
Yes.
introduced to us. I was talking to someone the other day that the way that technology was introduced to us was through consoles, right? So through video games, right? The Atari, ColecoVision, and television. I'm dating myself on that, but that was the first of technology that we got a chance to see. And then in turn, by the time we got into the 90s, as we were graduated from high school, moving into us starting college, internet, computer, cell phones, right? And then by the time you all came, which the Generation Z is from 1997, I believe, into about 2012, your generation was born with technology at your fingertips. So in what
Yes.
way did that impact your lives growing up? And the reason I want us to kind of start, now granted, I want the audience to know you all are only here with me for a short minute. So although we know that this is 60 minutes in Black America, tonight it may be 30 minutes in Black America, because I do not want to hold you guys. You guys are out celebrating, having fun. But I thank you all for joining me here tonight. Talk a little bit about, just take us back down memory lane of what life looked like growing up with technology, having it at your fingertips, but how it was able to either be an asset to you all or a liability even to get you guys to where you are now.
Well, for me, I just know that it was more of the discipline standpoint when it came to it. When it came to my family, especially for myself, my mom didn't get me actually an iPhone or anything like what iPod Touch or anything else, probably until I got to early high school or maybe late middle school. Only because they wanted me to get used to the flip phone and using certain things for emergencies, and not trying to abuse it so much to where I am always stick to it, that I am still being a child at the end of the day. I'm able to use certain avenues in a certain ways, but even with me getting my phone and my technology, I was able to use it in certain ways where it's benefiting me going towards the future. Not always, because it's many things that can distract you on the phone, whether it's social media or certain games. It's all about having that discipline to control your time and knowing the avenues that it brings when it comes to it.
Well answered,
Also,
Jasmine. What about you?
yeah. To piggyback off of that, I didn't get my first phone until I was in high school. My parents were not. We had technology, like I knew how to use a VCR tape, things like that, but we didn't have technology like that. So we were outside, like we ran outside, learned how to ride the bike, different things like that. And of course, we played video games. I grew up in an Xbox household. Shout out to Xbox. But I really love playing video games. That's what the technology we had mainly in the house. For ours, we had a computer, but it wasn't like we didn't use it or rely on it as heavy as we do now.
It's a house
And
computer.
yeah, a house computer. And we had radio, we had television, but we didn't rely on it. We were outside, we were active. We found ways to be independent. My mom forced us to read. My dad we took naps, different things like that. So we were just doing a lot of things around the house to keep ourselves occupied instead of being glued to technology.
Yes. Well, let me say this. You just spoke to something that I was thinking about as I was preparing for tonight's show, that your parents had you all to go outside. You even threw something in there, take naps. I love it. That is something that children of today lack. And it's not to say that we're going to, bash the young people, right? But the reason I wanted us to talk about, and the reason I wanted to call tonight's show about Generation Z and what's next and what you all plan on doing with our future, because you all are now what I like to call the new adult. You're stepping into adulthood. Granted, we know you've been adults already for a few years, but with graduation now a day old, right, underneath your belt, to say, you know what, I'm either going to go to graduate school, I'm going into the workforce. One thing that's amazing about what's next for you all, and I know you all, both you two right there, have something special that is also a part of what you all are about to venture into that is going to be life-changing. But when you think about where you guys are right now, right, and now you all are now graduates, and the world is in front of you, what is it that you're feeling about life, and how is it that you all are planning on approaching life in a way that, let's just say, you weren't thinking about it maybe a year ago? What does that look like to you both?
So I'll say yesterday, being that you asked that, Oryne, we had a pastor speak at our commencement, and it was Pastor Corey Brooks up in Chicago. Shout out to him. He's Remy's pastor. And what he said something to the effect of caring about today and not worrying about tomorrow. And he was saying that our lives can be changed in a span of a day. Life is like a mist on a cold window. It's gone very quickly, and we have to cherish the moments that we have in today and focus on today. We could set goals, we could set plans, but they have to be on the foundation of God and making sure that he leads us the way he wants us to lead, or he wants to lead us. And I thought that was so profound, because we get so used to planning, I want to do this, I want to do that, I have this in place, that in place. But if we are not focusing on today and admiring today and not taking today for granted, we're missing the whole point. But of course, a year ago, I was thinking we're graduating last year, but credits don't do what they do and different things like that. But that's my biggest thing, just focusing on today and allowing our goals to set up and align with God and what he has in store for us and me personally.
Awesome. Jeremiah. Yeah.
I totally agree. And to piggyback off of what she said, just God is the main thing whenever you are about to go forward when it comes to anything. And I always say this to almost everybody that's going through certain things or looking for the next step. Take each day at a time, tackle each stepping stone and each way at the time, because trying to take on every single thing and trying to get to that goal forward every time you're going to stress yourself out, and you're going to come short because you're trying to have this, I would just say, a baton race, a whole track race with God at the end of the day, when you can't overstep God. You have to let him lead in a certain way to where he's going to put certain things in your way, and then you just have to pay attention and go through your paths. Because many people have this idea of, I'm just going to get this and I'm going to already be at the top. I already got this plan, everything else. But maybe God has certain different plans for you to where it's not something that you expected, but it's for the good. Absolutely. And that's why, for me, myself, I always stopped questioning when it came to a lot of different things. Everything in life is for a reason, and you just have to sit back and then trust in him, but also, have a more relationship with him. Keep doing your stepping stones of what you have to do within him, and he will provide for you. It's going to be in front of you no matter what. And then I was just saying, whenever you're going to do, just love what you do.
Amen.
Yeah, amen. Let me tell you something. This is Sunday, and you guys are really giving us a word today. As you both were talking, what I was thinking about is the old saying. They say, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. And what you two both spoke to is just that exactly. We have to understand that it is not about what we want, what we think, but what is about that he has in store based upon his will. So congratulations once again to you both. There's something else. Now, you all both don't have to feel led to share it if you want to share it. But I want the audience to understand that with Mr. Haney giving us this opportunity to utilize the platform at 60 Minutes in Black America, is that we all met here at the Leon Thomas Group within production, right? You all as interns with the company, me as a long lost friend of Leon, getting a chance to come in and work and be able to do so much behind the scenes. But we wanted to highlight the three of you all today as students, you, Jasmine, you, Jeremiah, and Remy, within what you just accomplished is something that many don't stay the course. Let's be honest. To you two both, it took me 5 years as well, right? I did 21 and 22 credits in both my last 2 semesters. You all know what that means, to sit and say, take that many credits with an internship. And I was working. But at the end of the day, I said to myself, I wanted to stay the course. So what did this past year look like to you both? To be able to say to yourselves, I want to accomplish what I sought out to do 5 years ago. Granted, you just let us know that it's your faith in God that was able to give you the courage and give you the hope to stay the course. But talk about some of the time management. So there's 3 points I want us to talk about tonight: time management, resources, and the importance of community and communication. So let's start off with time management. What were you all able to do with your managing your time to say, you know what, I can get it done, I'm going to get it done, and I got it done? What did that look like?
Ooh, you want to answer that one? That one's a deep question.
Well, when it comes to time management, I mean, this is the biggest thing that so many college, it doesn't matter who is in college or anything else, and that's the word procrastination. It's the biggest thing, and people would just say, I'm not ever going to get into that. Trust me, it has happened to every single person that has been into college. It is very easy to start procrastinating, and sometimes it's not even within our control. Anything can pop up and to happen to where it's either you're maybe inside of sports, you saying, I'm going to handle this tonight, but something else pops up. Let's just say emergency happens, or let's just say, oh man, I'll take care of it maybe during out the week and everything else. And this year for us, it was a big thing to where we said for ourselves, we're gonna get this stuff done early.
Yes.
We're like right when it's due, we already have it done so that by the time it's already done, we're not even worrying about it at the end of the day. We are able to do what we want to do, maybe go out of town, maybe to have some lunch or some dinner, and not having to worry about certain things and don't always have to put it off. It's just very important, especially as college, because you already know when you have college, it's your own free time. So it's all about managing your own time. So that's where the discipline comes in, and it's just all about how you handle it. And I think we handle it in a better fashion this semester.
Yeah, I agree with that. And to piggyback off of that as well, it's the importance of cutting things out that aren't important and don't bring you fruit.
Yeah.
What I mean by fruit is things that are valuable, things that will help you 10, 15 years down the road in your life. And for me personally, last year when I was a senior, the first year senior, I guess, I played flag football for the university. And of course, I enjoyed it. I made a lot of great friendships. That's how me and Remy became best friends. But I knew that wasn't my goal. That's not what something that God wanted me to do. And I said, I have to cut this off because it's time consuming. There was no way I could do my show, do the radio, do different things that I knew I had passion for. So I had to cut it out and make a sacrifice like that. And now I had more time. I could be able to just do my work, have fun, be happy, and just really cherish the moments in college and be able to keep things in line and keep things in order and build up my resume. That's one of the big things is to build up your resume, build up your brand the way I did, and I really enjoyed that. So that's the biggest thing I could say for up and coming students as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So you all both touched right on into the community part of what I was speaking to and the importance of communication. And where with your generation, Generation Z, you all have the ability to have so many different streams of communication with social media, let alone the phone, right? I know I always joke with my kids, you all do not talk on the phone. So you see, I still hold it up like this. I know you guys hold it like that, right? That tells my age. But whereas though you all are able to communicate via text, you can name some of the different ones: Snapchat,
voice note,
right? So many different ways of communicating. But what I've always been interested to know, and with you all here with me tonight, let's talk about, do you all feel as connected with one another where years ago we had to come together to connect, right? We had to make sure that we were in each other's company to make connections. And then within us talking about this, I want us to go into the way that you all were able to develop resources and see what resources look like. So what did community look like to you guys? And did you all not neglect the importance of communing, right? Because as believers, I know that you all go to church and you all spend time, fellowshipping with one another. But we know that in this day and time, that is also post-COVID, we have gotten away from that, right? We've done so much on the internet. But talk a little bit about what that looks like and what that's meant to you both in your lives now and what it looks like for your futures to come.
I'll say for me, my major was sports communication, and we talked about that all year about communication. It's a very vital thing. It's an important thing, and God created communication, and that's a form of us understanding one another. I feel we're more disconnected than we ever been. And what I mean by that is, even though we have so many forms of media, we still misinterpret each other because we're not seeing each other face to face, because we're not hearing each other properly, and using social media, using pictures and videos. We don't truly know each other. Whereas our parents' generation, your generation, Oryne, you guys still talk. And I believe in that. I believe in going out and networking and communicating with people. I like sending out emails. I like talking on the phone. I like hearing people's voices and getting their tones and their expressions, because that's important. That's all a form of communication. I feel like as a generation, we're getting more and more disconnected because these social media platforms and mediums are making us more lazy. I think they're making us more content with ourselves, knowing that we could be better. And I feel like it's important that we all go out and talk to each other, get to know each other, be able to shake people's hands and leave that impression on people. I think that's important.
Yes, yeah, I totally agree when it comes to that, because even for myself this year, just learned so much about being inside, because for you to know that I want to be a sports agent one day or be in a sports marketing position. For myself, the big disconnection as time just goes on. I just feel like for me getting inside my career, me going forward, wherever I'm able to use my platforms, I would never to where I want to be, or the people around me, or the organization I'm running for is a cutthroat organization or anything like that. When I feel like everybody's inside the sport, I want everybody to have a certain opportunity. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and I want everybody around their strengths. I've never wanted to where we are always going at each other, trying to put one another down just to get to the next spot or getting forward in front of this person. I feel like everybody in every single capacity should be encouraging each other, giving people certain opportunities. And for myself, even for when I get those things, I want to give so much opportunity, especially for the ones, even when I'm older, I want to give back to the ones that's in high school, the ones that's in college, to show them that there's other avenues and platforms to go to, not just what they have to go to. I want them to have a knowledge to just think, and also to dive in. Maybe it's in sports marketing, sports agency, to know that they can do this and not always have to pick up a sporting or the basketball or anything else. You can work behind the scenes. You can do anything you want, especially with your abilities that you can do. And you don't even have to worry about the next person next to you. You can encourage them because they'll come with you as well.
Yes, yes. So well put by the both of you too. I'll tell you something. You guys, now granted, we're going to watch a short video in a second, but what I want the audience to be able to realize that they're experiencing today is two representative of Generation Z that are touching on their viewpoints, their perspectives, and their approaches to life, and what it is that they're going to do and already doing to impact this world. So let's watch a short video about 3 things to know about Generation Z, and we'll be right back. I'll tell you all something about that video, and I want to hear your opinion. It hit on so many things that for my generation, I said to myself, where have we been? You guys are and I took a few notes actually as I was watching it again. You all are born social. You all are business savvy. More of you all want to become entrepreneurs. You all are also the quickest to adapt, right, to life. The largest generation, largest than any other generation before your time, right? And last but not least, you all are good at multitasking, something that they actually say that it's impossible to do. That's impossible to do two things at the same time. Only one thing is going to have your attention. But with so many other things that video impacted for us, but talk to us about how you all have been able. Now we touched on this already a little bit, but the fact that you all are born social, right? You all are able to see life in a way that it's just something to be able to tackle and be able to conquer. What would you say for your generation? What brought forth that belief that I think a lot of generations, it really touched on the millennials lacked, and we clearly did as Generation X. But what is it about you guys that you all are able to say, you know what, it's a piece of cake, I can take it?
Well, when it comes to the social aspects, for myself, I am very socially when it comes to being like outside with everybody, because I can be very, to myself at certain points, maybe at certain times, but I know when to get the room shaking, and I know to have people skills when it comes to meeting, having manners, and also speaking up. Now, I can say certain parts of our generations, a lot of them have this social shyness to them, but they kind of have like an outside spirit on social media in a big way. Now, for myself, the reason for myself like this is just more of like, I would say, of practice in a way, to where I had to put my phone down a lot of times, and I had to be in uncomfortable situation to be comfortable.
Okay.
Because a lot of ones that's today that doesn't have the social experiences of being out and also having those type of relationships or being able to have maybe open speeches and stuff is because they're in so many uncomfortable situations that they're not used to. They are very used to being enclosed to themselves and kind of away more than usual.
Gotcha.
And to pivot on that too, I think, Oryne, why we are so social is because of Generation X. I think how you guys grew up, our parents and stuff like that, they saw the need, because I think the generation before, I might be mistaken, was the say nothing, do nothing, say nothing generation.
Yes.
And our parents and you guys were trying to find that way. Did you say something about you were told you didn't know how to start a conversation or know how to touch on certain things, and then you instilled that in us, and now we're like, okay, now we saw what mom and dad were saying and other or mom and dad's peers. And I think that Generation X really instilled in us how to communicate more with the tools that we have now in order to be successful, because we should be social. We're human. Of course there's people that are shy. I was once shy before, not wanting to speak in front of people, but I think it takes, of course, practice. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of research to know how to talk to people and do different things like that. And it all stems down from Generation X for sure. That's what I'll say.
Well, let me say this to you both. I appreciate it because we don't get a lot of credit sometimes, our generation. We definitely, I would say, and I know I do as well, seek to prepare you guys for what it is. Like I like to say, you all are the new adults, that what life has in store is really for the taking, to what we talked about earlier in the show, that a foundation, a faith foundation, is extremely important. We're biased to it as Christians here. But what we want the world to know, that you have to know what it is that you bring to the table and know enough of who you are. So you have to spend that time. Both of you two just touched on that. So we're going to take a short break in a minute. But what I want us to do before we take this break is, what does it mean? I want you all to answer this question for me, and then we're going to take a short break. What does it mean to know who you are when beginning college? And what does it mean to stay the course of who it is that you knew you were raised to be and who it is that you knew you were coming into college, and seeing that through? So touch on that. After the two of you all touch on that, then we're going to go to a short break.
The importance of knowing who you are in college is to be able to navigate your way through life. You have to know who you are, and college is it's an important thing, because it shows you it's not just about, of course, getting higher education, of course, learning particular things, but you learn more about yourself in college, and it helps you develop as a human without mom and dad or your guardian who raised you. So now it's like, okay, mom and dad are out the picture right now. It's just yourself. You build friendships, you build connections with people. Now you know you. And I think in a way God molds us also in a way like that, being that we're young adults, and he puts certain things into place so that you can know yourself. Some of us don't know. Some of us are still unknowing, but it's important to know yourself because when you get out into the world, you don't want to be lost. You don't want people to be able to not recognize you, or when your family sees you on Christmas break or Thanksgiving break, who are you and who have you become? Is this really you? We weren't. You have to know who you are and really take the teachings with you that mom and dad taught you, because even though when we're in high school, oh, mom and dad don't know what they're talking about. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. But once you get to college, you're like, man, mom and dad were really on to something, because now I know. And it's so important to listen to mom and dad because they do say the right things. But one of the big things I learned is what I learned, I teach my parents. And they're like, man, we didn't even know that. So I think it's so important because you can help others as well while you're in the process of learning yourself.
Yes,
Yes.
well said.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Because for yourself, it's just never about losing yourself at the end of the day. You are who God has you to be. When you are yourself, and if you're trying to chase something that you are not, you're going to keep chasing your whole life. And I feel like you're going to lose yourself, just like Jess says, most of the time. Because for yourself, like for myself, when I was in high school, very in college, I was a very soft-spoken guy, but I know when to get, loud when it's necessary. And many people is just, have the thing like, like what is wrong with him? He doesn't have that loudness or certain, but it's just like just the way I am. Now I'm very respectful. I have everything that's going for me, but that's just a certain thing that I just have. And I just feel like for a person, I never let somebody change me or try to tell me what I am not or what I should be doing, because I know myself. My family knows me. I know how I was raised. I know how I am going to have it go forward in this world. And that goes for anybody that's very outspoken, maybe a person that's quiet, or maybe even a person that just tries to maybe want to do more than they can. Like, that's just them, like trying to go the extra hard. People that has a great heart at the end of the day, or maybe it can go for so many different things. But I just feel like for yourself, you have to stay yourself, especially when you're going through college, because there are so many things and you're gonna meet so many people. It's just all about never forgetting home, and home is mostly who you are at the end of the day.
Well said. Well said. I'll tell you this, we're going to take a short break, but to you both, what comes to my mind when I listen to what you both just shared is if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, right? So it's important to have a stance that you have, a foundation that you have that was put in store and put in place by either your parents, to Jasmine, your point, to your guardian, but it's something that you know. And I love it, Jeremiah, how you just said it's you are who you are from home, right? What it is that you were taught at home is what you take with you everywhere you go. So we're going to take a short break, and then we have something special for our guests here tonight, Jasmine and Jeremiah. So after this short break, we'll be right back.
I'm Leon Thomas with the Leon Thomas Group. Podcast, virtual events, webinars, streaming shows, and so much more. We want to be your partner in all things virtual.
Let's take a look at Jasmine's testimony.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Pollock, and I'm a senior here at Oryne University, and here's my testimony. The reason for my baptism today is to turn over a new leaf and prepare for the next chapters of my life. Like I said, I'm a senior. I'm graduating in exactly 2 weeks from this week, and I just want to prepare myself for my career. I'm also engaged and I'm preparing for marriage and preparing to just be the best version of myself. I come from a Christian-based household. I have two Christian-based parents. My mother and father have instilled a lot of great values. I have a younger sister that looks up to me, and I want to make sure I'm the best version for myself for them, and allowing God to lead me through a lot of different things because I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety, depression, anger, and just wanting to just get out there so fast instead of allowing God to work. So here's my testimony, and I hope that this suffices, and I hope that this is the start of something great, of my many blessings to come. So thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Father God, I want to plead the blood of Jesus over Jazz right now as she goes on to her new journey and her new life that she is about to embark right now. Get rid of any demons that she has in her past, that she will overcome them, Father God. Give her the strength as she is going forward, Father God. And I want to thank you for all the things that you have done for putting her in my life and also other people's lives. Tell her, Father God, for her to keep having her confidence, her outspokenness, and all her different abilities that make her so great. Father God, as she goes on to her new life, bless her all the way through. Amen.
All right, yeah, you sit on your backside. Yeah. All right, Jasmine, I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Surprise. I had to show that, you guys. I tell you something. That to me, and like I said to the audience, and as well as I said to the two of you, you took your faith public with that. And what you both shared, and what really was moving to me was Jeremiah's position, praying over you, praying with you as your fiance, for those that may not know. But that it showed that you all are the generation that's up next. You're about to embark upon this new world, adulthood, as young adults, taking your faith public and standing for something and not choosing to fall for anything. I'm so proud of you both. What I wanted us to show that clip, and I hope I wasn't overstepping my boundaries by surprising you guys with that clip, but I felt like it was such needed. Today has been an amazing day, and what a way to kind of close out this Sunday with the clip as such. But let's talk about Warner University. Let's talk about what Warner University has been for you both. And I want to read something that actually we have it as in the banner, but I want us to look at what Warner University is. And I'm going to read it. Warner University is committed to guiding individuals towards Christ-like character and intellectual maturity while equipping them to serve. You two are about to move into a new stage of life as servants of God into this world to change the lives of many people in your own particular professions. But can you all talk about what Warner University has been to the three of you all? Because Remy as well. Remy is an amazing young woman, right? We got to make sure that we highlight her as she is traveling. But talk about what your university meant to you guys and why somebody should choose to take that leap of faith and put Warner in their top 10 decide to either attend. And we're going to wrap it up real shortly after that because we know that you guys are out celebrating your graduation. But just touch on that for us, please.
Warner University has changed who I am as a person. And when our former school closed down, we were so confused as to where we were going. And you were like, man, I don't know what school we're going to choose, where we just didn't know. And I can't recall when Warner popped up, but it did. And when we got the call to come there and do that visit and we got accepted, I was like, man, that was just, wow, we're going to be at another university. And Warner cares about their students. The professors one-on-one, shout out to Dr. Craig. He is the best professor ever. He was my advisor for 2 years. And these professors really have taught us so much about our faith and what it means to serve God through our careers and through our lives. And it's so important that we should really use these universities, these Christian-like universities, and uplift them as well, because of course, in college, so many things happen, experiences happen, but what Warner tried to do was keep us in a good direction, to keep us moving forward and keep us level-headed. And I'm so grateful that I graduated there and I can wear their emblems and different things like that. And speaking of which, we have here our Warner University diplomas. This is how it looks. So I thank God and I thank all the individuals that were there that supported us, from professors, Dr. Craig Miles, as well as a great example, Dr. Hogue, our president, everybody at the Warner University. And even though we've graduated, there's still things that we have left to do there, and helping other students. And we've built such an imprint on that school. And that's where I met my best friend, Remy. We built a connection, and she's also faith-based. She's also just an amazing young woman in what she's doing and how she's accomplishing her goals and how we're all connected. Warner is the best. Love Warner. We will miss it. Go Warner. We love y'all.
Yes, go Warner indeed at the end of the day, because just like she pointed out, the connections, it would be so many times, and I think that we're going to miss this more, just the things of just after class or even throughout the day, we just want to just go and just talk to some of our professors. It's not even just about work or anything, but just about things of life. Certain things of faith. What are we looking forward to doing in the future? And just having those laughs, good times, also improvement. I know when it came to this this last semester, me and Jazz was very involved into the radio room, doing our podcast show there, and also doing Vinathon, to where we'll play vinyl records for a whole 48 hours. And not to mention doing the whole draft show and more things within production communication. And for us, we talked to our professors. We talked to so many different ones about trying to continue these things inside the school. Us being part of the International Students Club, to be more involved and to get more connections, more as this year gone. Because I know for this year, it taught me more to get rid of all of my bad habits and also growth at the end of the day. And I know I couldn't do it by myself. It was just in the works of God, through my fiance, through these professors, and so many great people I met throughout my journey, especially in college.
Well put to the both of you two. I want to read something that I got off the internet from your school. It says, if you want to be a lion, you must train with lions. That's from Warner.
Yes.
And I'll tell you something. I didn't know much about your school until I met the three of you guys, and you all are sharing with us, what the school has meant to you all. We have some comments. I want us to take a few minutes to share some of the comments and read through them, because tonight is a celebratory night of you all as graduates. So we have some great comments coming in. Mr. Michael Haney has put some up. So if we could put them up right here. He says, I love the fact that you guys are doing the interview in the car. Yes, indeed. This is priceless. I'm telling you, Mike, I agree with you. It shows that you all were saying to yourselves, we're not going to miss it. He says, amen. If you don't stand for something.
Yeah, we're not going to miss this.
No.
Definitely not. No.
Guys, by the way, we're in the Disney parking lot.
Yes.
We're doing this from Disney.
Yeah,
so
we wouldn't miss this for anything in the world.
This is the intermission, right? You already went to one part. You're on your way to another. So that's why we're not going to hold you. Ms. Evans says social platforms also give the wrong impression on wording of a conversation that when it's done face to face. She is so right. So this shows us tonight that we're able to take advantage of technology, but what we're going to do is make sure that we do not neglect the face to face. We have another one from Mr. Mike Haney. Go out and make your mark on the world. Money is only a piece of it. Rheamesha Gordon, one of our graduates, is in Chicago working for a nonprofit. Yes. Let's highlight Rheamesha real quick, because she's not here with us, in physical form, but she's here with us in spirit. Rheamesha finished up in December, and Rheamesha left to go to Chicago to take on a job. Can you all touch on that? Because you all are going to be doing that next. But we want to talk about, and this is as we're going out, as we're closing the show tonight, but just touch on what it is that Remy has been able to do that a lot of people don't understand. You all are from one part of the country, right? You all are from Florida. Right? Touch on that. I'm going to keep quiet, but touch on what Remy just did that is just groundbreaking as a young woman stepping out on her faith. What did that look like?
Being that she's my best friend, seeing everyone's not going to see what she goes through. There's certain things I've seen her go through that I've walked her through. And for her to still have the drive that she does is insane. There's a lot of people out there that what she's went through personally, a lot of people would stop. A lot of people would like, I give up. I can't do this, not anymore. But for her to literally make the decision to go to Chicago, a place she's totally new to, she's trying to get her footing there, being in a whole different environment, not having family or friends up there, and still striving and doing the Lord's work is just phenomenal. And she's a God-fearing woman, and she knows what she wants, and she is going to try her best to make sure she's there for everyone. And that's one thing. There's a multitude of things I could say about her, but one of her biggest qualities to me is the giving heart that she has. She is there for everybody. You know, she gives so much, and she's always there, and she's always wanting to do better and see what she can improve on. She's always asking Jazz, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I just tell her, you give her words of encouragement, but she always wants to be the best version of herself to herself and to others. So shout out to Bestie. I know she's on the plane right now heading back to Chicago.
Definitely.
But shout out to her, and she is just a great, phenomenal woman, and she is my best friend for a reason. So
yeah. Yes, indeed. Jeremiah, what you got on that, man? I know as a friend of you all, tell me a little bit about what Remy means to you as well.
I mean, yeah, because although I joke with Remy so much about everything else, but she is a very great woman, a big-hearted individual that loves giving back to so many different people, even sometimes sacrificing a lot of stuff like for herself at certain points in time. And, you know, we do appreciate so much of what she does, you know, the time, especially when it comes to things that she does for Jasmine's show, you know, always helping, being there, giving certain advice and stuff. I mean, to do certain things at certain points and not sometimes always asking for anything in return, you know, that means big things, sacrificing, making the certain trips or taking the time out of her day, you know, that thing goes a long way. And for her going to her future, I know she's going to do awesome things, especially when she gets the opportunities. She is going to tear it up.
And just one little point. Friendships are so important in life. And I want to advise everyone, like, it's good to have friends. It's good to have people that are in your circle that have the same drive as you, maybe different paths of getting there, but having that same drive, that same passion, that same love for God, having those friends like that go a long way. And those types of people stay around you forever. Those types of people are around you, and they bring so much good energy and so many good fruits. And she's one of those people. So everyone, I encourage you, value your friendships. There are friends out there who need someone. There are people out there who need a good friend and a friend that can provide for them and help them with so many different things. Shout out to Remy. I wish she was here, but shout out to her.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'll tell you something. We clearly can see that our future is in good hands, right? You three are speaking about things that can give hope to those of us that are in the millennial generation and the Generation X and the baby boomers and whatever other generations we're still living, right? We could keep on going back. But you all are showing us that the world is in good hands, and that what you all are going to do moving forward, we can rest assured that we're going to be okay. Before we close tonight, if the two of you can share with us one thing that you all have as a short-term goal that you look to obtain before this year is out, and we're going to close with that.
Definitely get sleep. I am done with school. No more essays, no more assignments, no more due dates, nothing. But short-term goal, definitely just cherish the moment with my family. I know I moved back home with my family, and just enjoying them and enjoying the time that I have with them now, and just really saying, I did it. My parents are so proud. My sister's so proud. And I'm just so thankful that they were able to make it. My aunt made it. My grandma made it. And one of my grandmothers is no longer here. She passed away.
I think we actually lost them, you all, but it's okay. You all see that we had a great, great episode tonight. Shout out, as the young people say, to Jeremiah Nixon, Jasmine Pollock. That's going to be soon. Jasmine Pollock Nixon, as Mr. Michael Haney just shared with us. And Rheamesha Gordon, thank you three for joining me here tonight. Congratulations to you all and to all of the other graduates. I want to shout out my eldest daughter, Taylor Stewart. She graduates as well this year from Mount St. Mary's University. I'm about to forget, right? But congratulations to all graduates. Generation Z, take the world by storm. We so appreciate you all. We're continually going to be here as supporters for you all. And the rest is history. Stay tuned next week. Mr. Michael Haney will be back with you all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Oryne Stewart, standing in for Michael Haney. It's been a pleasure. Take care. Have a great week.